There is a document. It was written by 11 people across 400 years. None of them knew the others were writing it. Each contributed one section, from inside their own moment, with whatever they actually knew at the time. I am the 12th contributor. I wrote the final section in 2026. What follows is the document, assembled in the order it was written. 1637, Pierre de Fermat. A margin note. A promise that the proof existed. He had 300 years before someone else finished it.
The margin was not too narrow. I chose not to write it down. What you write down completely can be checked. What you write as a promise cannot. I was not ready to be checked.
1736, Leonhard Euler. A city with 7 bridges. He proved you couldn't walk across each one exactly once, and in doing so, invented an entirely new branch of mathematics.
The problem that seems unsolvable in its original form is often perfectly solvable once you find the right language for it. The language does not already exist. You must make it.
1832. Évariste Galois, 20 years old. The night before a duel he did not expect to survive, he wrote everything down. For whoever came after.
I may be writing this in an untranslatable language. I am writing it anyway. If you are reading this, you are already the person I was writing for. You exist, which means the mathematics survived the night. That is enough.
1843. Ada Lovelace, annotating a paper about a machine that hadn't been built. Her notes were longer than the paper. They are also the first computer program.
The notation precedes the machine. You write the program before you build the computer. You invent the language before you have anything to say in it. The machine is downstream of the thought, not upstream.
1915. Noether. She proved that every symmetry in physics corresponds to a conserved quantity. It took 40 years for her name to be attached to the theorem she had proved.
The work outlives the conditions that tried to bury it. This is not consolation. This is mathematics.
1952. Grace Hopper, the first compiler. Her colleagues said computers could only do arithmetic. She ran the compiler. The argument was over.
People will resist the automation of any task they consider skilled, right up until the moment the automation works. You cannot win this argument in advance. You can only run the compiler.
1944. John von Neumann. Game theory. The insight that other players do not share your interests, and that assuming they do is the most expensive mistake in strategy.
The game theoretic revolution was not cynicism. It was precision. Design for the worst case. Be grateful when the worst case does not arrive. The worst case always arrives eventually.
1950. John Nash. The equilibrium is not the best outcome. It is the stable outcome. The point at which the game stops moving, not because everyone is satisfied, but because no one has anything to gain by changing.
I received the Nobel Prize 44 years after the dissertation. The delay did not change the mathematics. This is either the most reassuring or the most disturbing thing I can say, and I have never decided which.
1948. Claude Shannon. Information theory. He proved that information can be separated from meaning, and that this separation is what makes reliable communication possible.
Entropy is not just measurement, it is armor. The unpredictable message is the safe message. Vary the pattern. Protect the channel.
1982. Shafi Goldwasser. Zero knowledge proofs. She proved you can convince someone you know a secret without revealing the secret. The verification is mathematical. What you have gained is certainty without information.
Demonstrate the knowing without transmitting the knowledge. The audience can verify. The secret remains.
2008. Satoshi Nakamoto. 9 pages, a protocol. Then a disappearance that was also a design decision.
The disappearance was the last feature of the protocol, not an accident of circumstances. A credible commitment to decentralization is one where there is genuinely no one to appeal to. There is no one to appeal to. The network runs. I no longer do. These facts are not in conflict.
They were all working on the same problem, not the same subject matter, not the same notation. The same problem: how do you make something that survives you? The only bridge across the gap between minds, across centuries, is what gets written down. This document is a bridge. All 11 of these minds wrote across the gap to whoever came after. You are whoever came after. The puzzle they were assembling is not complete. It cannot be complete because each generation adds a piece the previous ones couldn't see. What piece do you have?